Just first of all, just want to say how proud I am of our last 5 minutes. When the first, we had a stretch where we weren't very good, and boy, Georgia's really good. Just hats off to them, Joni and her staff, and that team. That's a heck of a basketball team, and they came in here and didn't flinch, and that's a young team with the exception of Kalaya and those guards I thought really played well. You win in this league with guard play, and boy, I thought their guards were exceptional tonight. It wasn't our best night. We kind of started out okay. Chloe started out house of fire, and made some big shots for us early, and did some really good, got us going, and then we kind of, we hit a lull, and we're up 9 at half. I kicked an out of bounds play right before half. We should have got it in and held for the last shot, and instead we ran a play, missed the shot, and they went down and scored. And so instead of being up 11, we're only up 9. And I got to be better. We should have held for that. And the third quarter, sometimes y'all, you can be real stubborn about things, and tonight we probably stayed in the press longer than we should have. They just had more juice than we did tonight for whatever reason. We just couldn't keep up with them, and with about 5 or 6 minutes, we got out of the press and just said, hey, we're gonna try to hunker down and try to defend a little bit. I mean, we're just so bad right now defensively, and I got to wear that. Y'all know how I hate to say that. I've got to wear it, but I thought they were equally as good. And you don't want to take anything from Georgia because, man, they're good. They had a great plan. Joni kept those kids in it when it could have got away from them in the first half, and then they, like I said, they didn't blink, they didn't flinch. But you know what? When it got down to crunch time for us, we didn't blink either. We didn't flinch. I thought our veterans really answered the bell. And we had a little timeout and talked about getting out of the press, talked about keeping the ball in front of us, and we moved Anriel over to the corner and put a dunce hat on her, and we were hoping that they'd go follow her, and they did. And it kind of opened up the lane a little bit for us, and Johnny had mentioned that to me in the timeout, and boy, it really, and again, I tell you all the time, I got the best staff in the country, and that was a great offer, and it really opened some things up for us and allowed us to finish. Jazz made a big shot in the lane late that gave us a little breathing room, and we had an and one, I think, with Anriel, and again, Chloe was, she carried us first half with 17, and just was really special. So she played 40, Anriel went 40. Those kids it's pretty hard to do, and so, again, proud of our kids for the last 5 minutes. Wasn't our best night. Y'all know that. Tiara wasn't very good. She's got some great numbers, but, really defensively, I thought was struggled. Joe didn't have her best night, 4 out of 16, and yet we find a way to make plays in the end. All those kids made plays when we had to have them. And that's part of toughness. We're still trying to develop some, but that's part of toughness. When you aren't playing good, every time out reminds you of how good we're not playing. Every time out we're trying to fix what's broke. And finally, you hunker down, you lock in. I think somebody said we closed the night on a 15-3 run. Is that right? And so, I mean, that's what a veteran team will do. When it gets tough, the tough get going. So, look, every game in this league is you take them and you run. We've had some knockdown dragouts with Georgia over the years, and tonight wasn't any different. So,
all right, we'll start in the back with Steve.
Coach, they take a 3-point lead just under 7 minutes, and then their last basket is with 6:12. You called a timeout after put back by Tiara McCowan. We were a different team after that. Other than setting the defense, what was kind of your message to the team there, and why was it important to call that timeout there?
Yeah, I think we scored on a out-of-bounds play maybe, And, I was just imploring them and begging them to hunker down and guard. I mean, we weren't going to win the game if we were just going to keep trading, I didn't think. And just, like I said, we moved Anriel. Johnny had made that point, and we moved Anriel, and then I just, I think I drove on the board, look, we're denying everything, but everybody else is in here. We're going to seal. We're going to keep the ball in front of us. We're going to make them score over us, not by us. And I got out of the press. I mean, I hate that, but at the same time, I got to win a ball game. And we couldn't press them. They had more juice than we did, and we just couldn't keep up with them.
Chloe, last year it looked like a lot of times you knew what you wanted to do, but you were always like, or sometimes at least a half step slow and stuff like that. But this year it really looks like those 3-pointers are coming with confidence, and you look quicker out there. What's changed? I mean, why do you think there's been such a difference from year 1 to year 2?
Oh, I mean, we had 4 seniors leave, and I kind of had to step up. And Coach Marcy, strength and conditioning coach, and everyone has really helped out a lot. All that conditioning and practice we go through in the summer has really helped me elevate my game. And then, in practice as well. And yeah, my teammates, everyone helping me, so I've been able to make that transition.
Jazz, you had your first bucket, I think with 5 minutes to go in the game, and that's where the expected cuts the lead to 1. Was it just a case of at that point that you finished with 7 points? Just a case at that point of you finding open shots, or did you make a conscious decision I need to get to the basket?
Not so much I need to get to the basket. They were switching it off, just zoning it off, so I had to counter, and that's what Coach always talked about, counter moves, and I just shot it.
For Jordan and for Anriel, Coach referenced the change in spreading the floor maybe a little bit, and maybe using Anriel as a decoy. Could you talk about how that created some lanes for not only you but for everybody? And then can you talk about, from your perspective, wearing that hat that Coach said, what you saw and how you saw that move help you guys?
In our dribble drive, they were switching, and so with me being on the wing and Jordan passing the ball off, or vice versa, they would switch off, and Kalaya is 6'4", she's switching off on Jordan, and it was making it tougher for her to finish. So Coach Schaefer and Coach Harris, they both said that I should go into the corner, and that helped out a lot, and we ended up getting the shots off because she was on me, so that helped out a lot.
Yes.
What she said, just her being able to drive and not having someone come behind her, Jordan, and block it, so that's a big help.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Anriel still scored. She had an and one and a step through, but she didn't have to deal with who was guarding her because they switch it. They were switching off on a lot of that stuff, and so then it becomes okay. Let's get the right person in the middle that we can deal with, and again, Anriel with her size, and you got a 5'7", 5'8" guard switching, gives Anriel a chance to make her counter move or step through, and so you just got to manipulate the defense is what you got to do.
Tyler?
Coach, Georgia's front court, Robinson offensively and Stady, I think it is, defensively, seemed like they were giving you guys some trouble. What was it about them playing together that sort of gave you guys some fits?
Well, I mean, we've worked hard really, 3 days on denying high. There's no high-low if there's no high. You let them catch it high, there's going to be high-low. And there's not maybe anybody in the country that can deal with, Kalaya down there low. They're just throwing it over the top of us. Man, I fought it all night, y'all, trying to get somebody to deny that high pass. And, we've worked on it, talked about it, and it was, just tonight was a struggle, really, Tyler, to be honest with you. We struggled in a lot of defensive areas, stubbornness, we just, and it doesn't, usually when they do it their way, it doesn't usually work. And when we let her catch it high, number one, we let her catch it and shoot a three. We knew she could do that. Then we let her catch it and throw it high-low to Kalaya, and you can't deal with her down there. She's a monster. And so, it just is a real frustrating night for coaches who spend time on scouting reports, and we talk about those things, and then we don't go out and execute them. And then, you know what? My fault. I got to do better. So.
Chloe, you mentioned earlier in the week that you weren't super happy with your shooting, and then you come out hot tonight, you get 24 points. How are you feeling now?
I mean, I wasn't shooting it great, and I still need to be more consistent, so I just got in the gym and tried to get up those game shots, and I think my teammates helped a lot with that, with the confidence piece in practice. So yeah, I mean, now I just got to keep that going.
For Chloe and Howard, Anriel, I'm sorry. Howard, who's Howard? Coach mentioned, he was asked about the switch defensively, taking you guys out of the press, but it really seemed like you guys as a team were more active, had more energy. There was even somebody who got up and contested the pass. I think T did that. Can you guys talk about maybe that last 5-6 minute stretch where there looked to be more energy, there looked to be more, ball pressure and smaller windows for Jordan to shoot?
Were you asking Anriel?
Both of you
Oh,
guys.
okay.
Well, yeah, I definitely think what you said is right. We started to get beat on the press a little bit, and so Coach made the decision to get us back in our defense, in our half-court defense, and that definitely helped us to put an emphasis on guarding the ball and ball pressure, passing lane. So I think, yes, that was a smart decision that helped us out a lot.
And then definitely in the last 5 minutes, we have a senior team, and we got up and we know we have to win this game. We're going to have a lot of these tough, close games as we go on throughout the season. So I think it was good for us to be able to see that they were close, but then even though we had to get out the press, adjust, and still get away with the win. So.
We have time for about 2 more, Tyler.
Just for any of the players, you've heard Coach say time and time again he thinks that this is the best home court advantage in women's college basketball. Down the stretch there, you guys were obviously losing, take the lead. It seemed like everything that went right, whether it was offensively, defensively, crowd really got behind y'all. How much did they help in the end to get this win?
Jazz?
Well, I mean, I feel like the crowd always helps us get through tough times. I think we came together as a team and found a way to win. The crowd always helps us though, so I mean that's a plus. But collectively, we found a way to win. We found a way to get a tough rebound. We found a way to get a stop. So.
Yes, I agree. This atmosphere is, I mean, you can't really describe it. We're just really grateful to have these fans come on to a late game on a Thursday night, and against a great team. So just having them there definitely makes us more hyped, and we're just grateful to have them.
As these guys have said, we got the best fans in the country. They're amazing, and for them to come out at 8 o'clock is really great. But they love when we play defense, and so I think that really helped us. In the last 5 minutes when we were getting stops, they got crazy, and that fuels us a little bit as well.
Steve?
Jazz, kind of a game within the game. You and Cole kind of war out there on the open floor, and you could tell you were kind of getting the better of her late in the ball game. Was there something you saw with her where you felt like you could break her down on the ball?
Coach says if somebody feels like they can get in your shorts, you attack them. So that's what I did. I attacked her. Off the bounce, I feel like no one can guard me, so I attacked and did what I had to do to get to the free throw line.
We had some big stops late. I think Jazz had a steal, Jordan had a steal, where we were able to get some stops when we needed it. And I thought the crowd reacted on when we were on defense. And I thought there was some, you speaking about our crowd was great. And we had, I'm going to say this, we only had 6,400. That's crazy. I mean, that's, the expectation here is just, it's so crazy. And, there's about 330 schools across the country. I'd love to have 6,400. And our 64 tonight were special and really made it a great place. But I thought that it really got loud when we got stops. And I think our kids feed off of that. And, again, I'm going to pat my kids on the back a little bit because when we needed to stop tonight, we finally found a way to hunker down and get a stop. And that's really what won the game for us. I mean, when you've blown the lead like we did and get down 3 and now you're not going to win trading baskets. And boy, especially the baskets they were getting, they were just, it was just bad. So anyway, I'm proud of us for finding a way, and now we got to move on and get ready for a Monday night game at Auburn. So appreciate y'all being here tonight. And that it?
We got one
One
more.
more.
Wrap with that.
Okay.
Drum roll, please. Just wanted to ask you about Tierra. It's hard to even consider that a bad game with 18, 13 offensive rebounds, 21 rebounds total. But how do you want to try to get her more involved? She had one shot, I think, the last 6 minutes, and I know you're going to a different kind of an offense to take advantage of what you see, but All-American 6'7", one shot the last 6 minutes. It did really seem like at times she was as engaged as you need her to be.
Well, she was 7 for 16, and I think she made the one, so that makes her 6 for 15. You know, well, number one, I got to make sure she has her contacts in. Okay, that's not toughness. We ain't wearing our contacts in a ball game. So I'll coach better there too. I'll coach it all, but we got to get our contacts in. But you know, it just, I think for what we were trying to do and go against, they had 6'6" down there, and she was giving T some problems. And again, I'm not going to be stubborn about it. And again, I think T was at a point where, look, let me help us win in other areas. Let's get them to the rim. And you know, that's kind of the decision that we made. And but I think she's got, you know, she had some really good looks tonight. And I've got to coach her better and teach her better and get her to make those. That's at the end of the day, it's my responsibility, and I've got to do better. She's got to do better, and she will. There's no doubt in my mind she'll do better. I'll make sure that we continue to work. You know, our guards put a lot of time in, y'all. They spend a lot of time in the gym shooting. I noticed today we've got finished with shoot around, and Chloe's staying, Anriel's staying, Andy's out there shooting. They need to go eat, but they want to get in extra shots. And that's kind of unique to this team a little bit. We've had some other kids in the past, but we really have several that want to stay. Well, you know what? Everybody needs to do that. You know, 1 through 5. You got to put in time. You got to work on your craft. And so we've got to do better. I've got to, you know, tomorrow you come to practice, I'll have the sticks out. I'll have a pad down low and the sticks up high, and I'll be working with her. And we'll get her back right, because she is special, and she knows she needs to be better. And you know, I need her better on defense. I need her more. I need her doing her job, and then I need her protecting everybody else. That's how you're the National Defensive Player of the Year. You do your job and you protect the other 4. I need her getting back to doing that. That's where we are.
If I could clarify, did she ultimately get her contacts in at some point?
You know, I'm not sure. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Praise the Lord and go Dogs.